What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? Let me know if you can hear me and if you can see my screen. Trying something a little different tonight. Now it does appear, excuse me, it does appear that we have about a 20-second delay here. So it does the delay in order to give you high quality video. So we have that little trade-off there. So when I do ask questions or when you all have comments, I will take a look back at the chat just to make sure that I am not neglecting you all. How are y'all doing tonight? I'm so glad to see you all here. Okay, so as promised, yesterday I ran out of steam with our little 2.5 hour session, or however long that was. So tonight I'm going to demonstrate the automatic slice or split template, and this one is still using the 13-inch printer, but it's using roll media rather than the 13 by 19 sheets. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to start with the most popular size, which is the adult, small, medium, large. And if you notice here, because you're not just using 13 by 19 sheets of paper, I have labeled the sections. Now don't go touching the sections. Remember what we said. The idea here is that we're going to pretend like what? We're going to pretend like these folders here are 20-year-old medical bills that we are definitely not concerned with. We're not going to touch them. We're not going to open them, cause ourselves anxiety for no reason, okay? So we're going to leave those alone. And we're going to solely focus on the smart object art up here. Now, the reason why it's red is because I intentionally made it red so you do not print this layer, okay? This is just to make sure that you did not mistakenly move anything below here. And I'll show you in just a moment why we created in red and what we do to ensure that all of our layers are going to line up, okay? Awesome, awesome. So let's double click on our smart object. That's the first thing. Then we're going to grab our image. This is the image from the 101 class that we're going to do this Sunday. I'm going to encourage you to just click on this top layer, because wherever you have, whatever layer you have selected, when you place an object or bring an object onto the artboard, it's going to place it right on top of your current selected layer. So I'm going to select all the way to the top, drag and drop my image from my folder. And if you need to see that again, let me show you what it looks like when you're dragging it from a folder. Literally taking it from the folder, dragging and dropping it onto the artboard. See how it turns into a plus sign? When I let it go, it drops it like it's hot right there. I'm going to make sure that it takes up the entire artboard and that it's centered. I'm going to hit enter to lock in my transformation because I did change the size of it. And then I'm going to drag it below my existing art, turn off my existing art, and then also make sure that you turn off those guides. You can't really see them, but I'm using them to make sure that I don't cut off anything important, of course. I'm going to turn off those guidelines. I'll cut off the text there, and then I'm going to save. So you can do file save, file save. You can do Control S, Control S. If you have a Mac, you would do Command S. That means you're saving, okay? You have to save the smart object in order for it to automatically apply to the big file, okay? So this is a smaller component of the bigger file. So once we close out of this, it's going to automatically update here. And I want you to see that this layer is red specifically so that it draws our attention. We're going to select the top folder, and we're just going to bring that opacity down to make sure everything lines up. So if you did not listen to the very first directions and you went and opened this up and you moved something, you would tell, because when you turn down the opacity on your master layer, the subsequent layers that are in those envelopes you're never supposed to open, it will be off and it will not line up when you go to print it, cut it, paste it together. You will have no luck. So if that does happen, just re-download the whole template so that you make sure that it is in the appropriate place, okay? All right, so I'm going to go to my history, or if you just happen to do it one time inadvertently, just go back in your history. And there we go, everything's all lined up. I'm going to close this as if I never opened it. I have to show y'all what will happen when you do what you're told not to do, just in case we have some people that want to explore. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and turn up my opacity for the red here. All right, and the reason why I do that is so I don't forget and print this red overlay. If you have that opacity down, you're likely to forget, and maybe you'll print it with that red tint to it and you'll totally forget. Okay, so I'm going to turn this all the way up, and then I'm going to turn off the folder for the red. So I'm seeing right now exactly what my pieces will be. I will have one long left piece that's about 32 inches long. So you would cut your paper about 34 inches, just to give yourself a little bit of room at the top and bottom to feed the paper through your printer. So your shortcut is right here. It tells you 13 by 32. Of course, you have 13-inch roll media. And my suggestion is that you cut it with a paper cutter, so you can make sure that the edges or the ends of your paper are cut square. So you have two 32-inch pieces and one 13 by 13 piece. I'm going to suggest that although this is a 13 by 13 piece, do not go use a 13 by 19 roll media, because even if you get them from the same supplier, let's say you're using text print, for example, the text print roll might have been manufactured at a different time with a different set of materials than the flat 13 by 19-inch paper, which can give you a little bit of variable results. So use the same media for all of these sections, okay? So if you're doing the 13 by 32, cut you two 13 by 34 pieces, and then cut one 13 by 15 piece. So give yourself about 2 inches to the top and bottom of that. All right, so let me show you how this next process works. We're going to go File, Export, and we're going to export the artboard to files. Now this gets a little repetitive, but the more we do it, the more you all will be robots and know exactly what to do next time around. You can browse and choose what folder you want it to go in. I'm going to choose to let it go inside of this folder here for the 13 roll media. And I am going to take off the prefix here, and I'm just going to make the prefix DG for Daddy's Girl, and I'm going to put a dash. So what will happen, all of the other layers will start with DG dash, and then it will end with whatever the name of this folder is. So it will tell me that it's small to large, right side, 13 by 32. All right, and we'll see that in just a moment. The next thing I want you to make sure is activated where it says the artboard content only. We don't want to include the overlapping areas. We only want what's on the artboard. Second to that, I want to make sure that you have export selected artboards turned off, because you want to export all of the artboards that are visible right now. And if you notice the red overlay layer, that eyeball is turned off. That means that visibility is turned off, and it will not try to export that artboard. All right, the next step is we're going to look at file type, and you might see various file types. Here's your default. You're going to choose JPEG. You may not see this checkbox, so you're going to check this box and make sure the quality is cranked up. It'll probably start at 8 for you by default. You want to crank it all the way up to 12 and hit run. Now what Photoshop is doing right now is saving a snapshot of each of these sections. Okay, and it says that the artboard of files was successful, and it tells you where those files are located. So we're going to go back to that area and we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and open up all three pieces here. Okay, so for one, you have your left side, you have your right side, and these are continuous. So before, when we were doing the 13 by 19 pieces, we pretty much had to paste these together, right? Where we had to tape two 13 by 19 sheets together. Now we're doing less work because this is a continuous sheet. Okay, so we have one, two pieces here, and then the third piece is actually really cool because you don't waste up two sheets of paper trying to print two sleeves. We just got it to where two sleeves will fit on one 13 by 13 inch area. And then, like I said, when you cut your paper, give yourself a little bit more than 13 inches tall. So if it tells you it's 13 by 13, give yourself 13 by 15, because if you happen to cut it a little bit off, or your measurements off just a little bit, you're just giving yourself that leeway. Sometimes you'll also, start printing and you're printing way too close to the edge, and you end up with those ink splotches on the edge of your paper, and it ends up going on your subsequent prints. So when you give yourself a little bit more margin to the top of your paper, believe it or not, it will help in the long run from you having that ink come and scratch up on the corners of your paper, because you're trying so hard to print every little corner of the paper that it's damaging your print head in your subsequent prints. Okay, so for this one, I would simply just take a pair of scissors and trim that in half right where you see the sleeves end. All right, and then when you print this out, it's going to have a little tiny white margin or border all the way around, and you're going to trim that off. And even when you trim that off, you're going to be able to have enough space to overlap these. And of course, the video that we walk through live will show you exactly how to put these pieces together, okay? So this demonstration is strictly for how to use the template. Okay, and it's not just one template, it's 7 templates, all right? So that's it. If you were going to print, let me show you the print process. So let's say I'm going to print this one here. I will go to File, Print, and I want you to make sure that you look up on youtube.com/innatelab, look up the word calibrate. I have a whole video showing you how to set up your printer, how to set up your monitor, and how to set up your Photoshop settings so that you get consistent colors with the True Colors ink. You're going to get consistent colors through and through, and you will not be messing up a lot of ink and a lot of paper doing the trial and error thing, okay? So for here, I'm using the EcoTank 16650. So I'm going to go to my print settings just so I can show you. I have it set up to where it's automatically by default on my 13 by 19 True Colors ink. But I will go ahead and walk through some of the standard settings. Right now it's on 13 by 19 inch paper. If I want to change, I'll change the paper last because I want to show you the rest of the settings that are important. So I put it on plain paper. I put the quality on high. For the color, it is on color. However, when you go to the color correction on the More Options tab, I go to Custom, and I make sure that I turn the color adjustment completely off, because I want Photoshop to manage my colors. I do not want my printer to try to guess what colors for my sublimation ink, okay? So I have no color adjustment there, which means I have to tell Photoshop to manage the colors, okay? The other thing is I have mirror image turned on. This printer has an option to do bi-directional printing, which is why it prints really fast. It prints a 13 by 19 in about 35 seconds, versus before with my 7710s and 20s, I was getting about 2.5 to 3 minutes per 13 by 19 print. So this has definitely been a little blessing. And I believe that's it. And then of course in the calibration video, I show you how to set this up, and I also show you how to save this as a preset and make this the default settings for your printer. All right, So in this particular instance, we're not doing 13 by 19 paper, so I want to change it to a user-defined paper. Okay, and it's just giving you a warning that when you use paper longer than 19 inches to refer to the documentation for loading paper. And that's because with this 16650, if I'm using anything longer than 19 inches, of course I have to load it from the document feeder. All right, and that's, or they call it, I think, the paper tray. So for the document size, let's go ahead and set one. Is it not letting me set it? For some reason, it's not letting me set the paper size here. You know what? I may not have this printer installed on this computer. Hold on. We'll do printers and scanners, and let's see if I have it installed on this one. 16650. Okay, so these are my printing preferences. Yeah, 13 by 19 you have to do with the paper tray on this one. Let's see if we can define a size here. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a size because I don't know why Photoshop wouldn't let me set up a size, but I'm going to go ahead and call this one 13 by, I'm going to call it 13 by 32, but remember I'm going to cut my paper 34 inches just to give me a little bit of play area there. All right, so let's do 13 here for the width, and for the height I'm going to do 32. And let's go ahead and save this. So now that's going to be a new user-defined size. And of course we have a couple of other sizes. I'm going to show you how to do this once, and then that way you'll be able to set up different size paper for yourself. And if I want to say this is a preset now, everything should be the same for my 13 by 19 and my True Colors ink setup. So if I want to, I can save this as a preset as well, and I'll save this as 13 by 32. True innate sub. Then that way I have this as a setting for the future. All right, so I can save that and close it, and now it pops up down here. Now my default to my printer, right now I'm in my printing preferences. So my default is set to this setting, to 13 by 19 with all those other settings just like I showed you. Mirror image, bidirectional printing, the custom color adjustment is turned off. Plain paper is set as my paper type. Quality is set on to high, and of course it's going to be looking for that paper in the paper tray because the cassettes 1 and 2 do not hold, for this particular printer, the 16650, it will not hold the 13 by 19 paper. Okay, so I have to use the paper tray in the back, which is fine because it works really well for the roll media. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this, say okay here. Let me see if I do or don't have to shut down anything with Photoshop. I'm just going to hit cancel here just in case. Now let's file, print. Let's see if those settings are automatically there for the 16650. There we go, boom shakalaka, we got 13 by 32. So now I can just select that, and if I have a little paranoia, because this is a lot of paper and a lot of ink, I'm gonna double check myself. It's gonna come from the paper tray where your roll media is gonna be set up. You're gonna have the 13 by 32 document size, And like I said, I'm not sure. Usually I can go right here to user defined. Now it wants to pop up. Look at that, y'all. So usually if you hit user defined, you can make up your own paper size. So let's say I have another one that's going to be 13 by 36. I can call this paper size 13x36. Save it, hit OK, and I can change it from 13 by 32 to 13 by 36. I don't know why this wasn't popping up before. So at least I get to show you, hey, if you ran into that same issue that I just did, why it wasn't showing, and it had that little error box that showed up, now you know how you can kind of bypass that by going to the inherent printer settings, setting up a paper size, and now, of course, it's working because it's trying to show out while I have company. That's what it's doing. All right, so again, if I hit this here, it's going to set everything to the standard settings for the 13 by 32 I just set up. I would say OK. And watch my paper size change here. See how my paper size changed? Now, of course, I'm going to cut my paper a little bit longer than 32 inches. I'm going to recommend 34 inches. Now, once you get really good and you want to save that extra little inch, cut it on down to 33 inches. But I want to make sure that you're cutting these edges where you have enough space at the top and bottom so that you're not laying down too much ink really close to that edge, okay? All right, so the next step is I'm going to look at my color management here. Now, you may see your color management where it says printer manages color. That's a no-no because remember, we told the printer, don't you manage no colors for me. So in that case, look at this caution symbol here. Remember to enable the printer's color management in the print settings dialog box. We turned that off. So since we turned off the printer color management, we have to let Photoshop manage the color. Okay. The color profile that I use is Epson IJ, that stands for Inkjet Printer 07, and it's worked well for me for years and years and years. I have not had to touch that as long as I'm using ink that I trust, which is True Colors. Okay, so I let this stay normal printing. I usually keep this on relative colorimetric. I don't have any problems keeping that there. And usually the black point compensation is checked off. I haven't really seen the difference by unchecking it, so I just leave it alone. All right, you do not, I repeat, you don't have to do anything else, but I want to tell you, do not scale this at all. If you scale it to fit the media, it will not overlap for you. It will not print the proportions correctly, okay? So just let it stay 100%. It will, you see how it has this little white border around here? It will cut off a little bit of your image in order to preserve that margin. That's fine. You're going to trim that off and you will still have enough space to overlap your pieces, okay? And if you don't, if you do that and something happens with the template and it just doesn't give you enough space, then either something is wrong somewhere with the print settings where it scaled it and it's cutting something off inadvertently, or it very well could be something with the template. Let me know immediately and I will improve it, fix it for everyone and change it, okay? All right, so that's it. We would send this to the printer to scale. I don't even scroll down here, but I'm scrolling down here because I know y'all will scroll down here. So I'm just letting you know you don't need to touch anything past this area right here for color management, okay? So you would hit print at this point. I'm just going to hit print because once I do that, I want to show you what it says. The image is larger than the paper's printable area. Remember I told you that image kind of bleeds off into the margin? So it says some clipping will occur. You're going to be okay with that. You're going to hit proceed. Now if you never want to see that again, hit don't show again. But I want to show y'all what the error is going to say. Okay? So that's how you would do one print. You would go ahead and feed that through the back area of your printer usually, or if you're doing the 7720, it's the same place that you put your tray. You open up your tray and feed the paper through it. Now I do have a video that I have uploaded for you all some time ago, and let me show you where it is. youtube.com/n8lab. I do have a playlist that you know, I have to not be logged in as myself. So let me do it on Firefox. Because since I'm doing a YouTube live video, it's not showing me like you would see it. So youtube.com/innatelab. And we're going to search here. Let's see if I can see my playlist. This is the All Over Press playlist. And I'm going to show you which one that, now this is a free video you can watch. You don't even have to subscribe to the class at all. This is one that we did when we first were quarantined, and y'all kept asking me how to tile these shirts, and I kept telling y'all I don't tile anymore. It's been some years because it's so, you know, cumbersome. So I showed you how to do the 13 by 19 sheets, and then I also, if you notice right here, if I can get my paper out of my own camera, this is the sheets, or these are the sheets. You see how many sheets that takes with 13 by 19. Of course, that's for 3X, so that one in particular took about 7 or 8 sheets there. And I'm going to show you, y'all realize how long this video was, how much I really care about y'all? Okay, so here it is. I'm going to pause right here. So you see how this is one long sheet here, and the difference that it makes to line up 4 sheets perfectly versus 2 sheets perfectly is night and day. So if you can use roll media, if your printer will allow you to use roll media, you will thank me. I promise you. Okay. Now I believe in this video I even show you how to put the paper. Oh yeah, I did show you. Look at that. Boom. Your girl was already on this back in April when I knew y'all was gonna bother me about this all over printing. All right, y'all. It took me almost a year to make that video because I despise piecing these little pieces together. But I do believe that it is helpful. Absolutely. And so many of you have said that it's been helpful. You see how I loaded it? These are my old 77 10s and 20s. I told y'all I've upgraded to the 16650, and now I have the 44-inch 7270 that I've converted to sublimation, and it's been amazing. But like I said, I've done it all, and I'll show you where I come from. So anyways, I'm just talking. I'm probably talking all long and country right there, showing you what to do. But I do want to show you where it starts printing, I guess. Y'all can watch this video if y'all want to watch this video. Let me see if I'm showing myself in fast motion now, pasting this together. Oh, Lord. And then the new video, we use inexpensive masking tape, because if you use that heat tape, you will definitely be using up a lot more resources than necessary. There's the board. Like I said, this is a free video y'all can watch, have at it. This thing is 2 hours long to make one shirt. That's how y'all know I love y'all. But anyhow, that's just showing you basically the difference between what the 13 by 19 and the sheet media looks like. So this is the sheet. So if you can see, I have 4 sheets there, but I save you a lot of paper because the way I optimize these files is that I took a look at it and said, well, instead of printing 4 long sheets here, I'm going to optimize it to where we get 2 long sheets and then a little short sheet, and then I have compiled the sleeves on there. Okay, so you're still going to have your overlap. You're going to use a minimal paper, minimal ink, okay? All right, so let me check and see, have some comments here. Okay, so it normally, if you are not a member, it is $100 for the split template, and even members used to have to pay $100 for the split template because it's not actually one of the courses. This is considered an exclusive course, so it's just its own standalone. But now we have it to where members are allowed to use their coupon code. So if you are a $30 member, you have a 67% off coupon code you use towards this, and it includes the video where we went through how to use the template. We printed out our own prints. We did the tape up session together. We pressed these shirts on the board together, and we're going to do another one of those classes on the 28th of this month. So if you want to do a live class, then you will have to purchase that live class separately, but you're going to get the recorded version of it regardless, as long as you purchase the template. And the template for the $30 members ends up being about $33, and the template for the VIP members, the $60 members, ends up being only $25. So you will get the video pre-recorded, and you'll get all of the files that I'm showing you that I'm demoing tonight. Okay. Now, if you want to do the live class is that class is not discounted, and it's just because it takes a lot of energy, and it's only so many people that can join a live class at a time, but you will get one-on-one help with, are you doing this right? You can show me on the camera, you use your phone, you show me on your Zoom screen what's going on your computer, you show me on your Zoom screen what's going on your heat press, and we're all able to look and make sure that you're working out everything in real time. But we will announce that one. I'll have that one posted up by the end of the month, because I really have to see how many people want to do that class, because we have to have at least 5 people who want to do it to make the class worth doing it. And then we can't have any more than 15, maximum 20 people doing it, because it really does need to be a small class to make sure that everybody gets the attention for that class. Okay, and you all can let me know, is it best to do that type of class on a weekday, on a Saturday, because that class can get a little long, and I want to make sure everyone has a final product by the end of it. So we may need to do it on a Saturday evening or a Saturday during the day versus a Sunday night when a lot of you have to get to work in the morning. So we can definitely discuss that and see how many people want to do that live class. Okay, so Pat, what can I do if my artboards are not getting saved? You get an error that you cannot save a copy because the file is locked. Usually that means that somewhere you have, let me show you something that may be happening too. And it depends on your system. You see how I have these files highlighted, or I'm touching on them? If I try to do anything and save, sometimes it'll tell me, now not on the newer systems, but when I was running it on my older system, it would tell me that the file is locked, or I can't change it, I can't access it because it's on my cloud and it's being updated, or sometimes just because you have it selected in your preview, right? If you have it selected in your preview, it imagines that this data is being used somewhere, so it will not change that file. So what we'll do during the, let's see, what's today? We'll set up a time in the main group to basically just have you all show video of any issues that you're having, so that we can have them on the NA Creatives Facebook page under the troubleshooting area. So if anyone else has that issue troubleshooting, we'll have a solution for it. Okay, so if you can video record or screen share what issues you're having, then we can better help you figure out, is it a system issue? Is it a Photoshop version issue? Is it a template issue? Okay, and like I'm going to show you tonight, all of these different variations and how they work, and we're going to make sure that they all work before I upload them tonight. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, if my month starts on the 16th, then change the membership. Okay, if you change the membership, as long as there's no lapse in your membership, meaning like you don't have a time where you canceled and then came back, the program will charge you the difference. So if you switch, and I have seen that on some accounts. I didn't know how that went before, but I've seen it on the accounts on the back end. So if you switch, let's say you switch from the $30 to the $60, it will say, okay, well, you spent this portion of the month on the $30 membership, and the remaining of that month is going to be charged at the $60 rate. So it will charge you, and it will tell you that it's going to charge you basically for the new rate. So you should not lose access as long as you did not cancel membership. So really, you should be able to join the $60 membership, and it will automatically propagate from the $30 from the $30 time that you had that particular membership. And I believe it does the opposite as well. So if you go from 60 to 30, I believe that it propagates that as well. I've seen what some people have tried to cancel it and then restart it, and that causes issues. So when you cancel it, like let's say you have the $30 and you cancel the 30 and restart the 60, I believe if you do it within the same time frame, it's okay, but I don't want to tell you that. But I have seen people do it like time apart, and then there's nothing I can do about it because it thought that you canceled completely and that you joined as a new membership. Okay, so let me know if you experience any issues. I can look at it on the back end for you. So, Victoria, your coupon code that you have, that is the coupon's code is going to change from time to time, and you'll notice that. But as a $30 member and as a $60 member, you're always going to have a coupon code you can use. So you're going to have that 67% off coupon code. You can use it on anything that you want. If you want to unlock 5 classes early and you don't want to wait for those 5 classes, then you use that coupon code for those 5 classes. It will change and you'll see it, but as long as you're an active member, you'll get the new coupon code updates, okay? So I appreciate you asking that question because that means that you wanted to make sure that you were good in doing that. So I definitely appreciate that. Okay, Anthony, do me a favor and message Erica. Let her know what the order number was, and we can go back and fix that, okay? If there was any issue with your code. All right? Come on, Rara. Come on, join the team. We got you. All right. So, any other questions? Or I'm going to go ahead and start demonstrating the other files. It's the same process. I don't want you all to feel lost or intimidated. So when I have this type of file, I'm going to show you how to walk through each version of the file. And then this also lets you know pretty much how many of these slices you end up having. All right, so let's go ahead and close these down. And we can close out of this one without saving because we're going to do this all over again. All right, so this time we are going to do the XL to 2X. All right, now you see with this one, it is 3 long pieces. You see that? And these pieces are 37 inches, but they really don't have to be. I think I was giving you that bleed area. So this one, because you have plenty of bleed area, you can actually cut your paper 37 inches on this one. All right, let's go ahead. Let's turn that off and see. Nope, you need a little longer than 37 inches because I'm using this piece down here to give you this additional sleeve. Yeah, go ahead and make sure that you give yourself that full 37 inches. I would even say, add 2 inches. So if it says 37, go ahead and make it a habit of giving yourself 39 inches until you're really, really confident with what you're printing and your margins and that you're not going to cut anything off. All right, so we'll pretend like we open this just as is. We're going to double click on the smart object. We're going to go ahead and pull, make sure we're selected on the top layer, drag and drop our image, drag the image below the existing image, turn off the existing image, turn off the guidelines, turn off the website there. We're going to go ahead and let this save and update. All right, and of course I have my red layer on. I'm going to select the top folder, go ahead and drag down the opacity, and then of course I see my other sleeve pop up here. And this is just to save you a little bit of paper. So we're able to nudge this little sleeve in up under this one. You know, the more paper we can save, the more energy we can save, the better. All right, so I realize I didn't mess with anything down here, so I'm good. I'm going to crank back up my opacity, turn this folder off, then we're going to go File, Export, Artboards to Files. All right, and then we're going to just change this. We'll change it to DG dash. It'll go to the same folder. And of course, artboard content only. Export selected artboards is off. File type is JPEG. And I have my checkbox here. Quality is 12. I can run it. So instead of putting together, I believe this template required 6 13 by 19 pieces, you're going to be putting together 1, 2, 3 long pieces and a 4th little sleeve, okay? So that is a lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and open up the pieces, the 3 pieces, so you see what they look like. And I'm not going to show you how to do the print every time. The first demonstration of the print will be the same every time. The only difference I will show you though is that if I go to print here, now I told you that paper size was 37 inches. I'm going to go to my print settings, and instead of 13 by 32, I'm going to make another user defined size of 13, and I'm going to add 2 inches just for safety. I'm going to have an inch at the top and bottom that I can play with. So if it said 37, I'm going to give myself 39. And I'm going to save this paper size as 13x39, so I know to use that in the future. Hit save there. Okay. All right, and then if I want to save this as a preset, I can. Now I can save this as 13 by 39, true, innate, sub. All right, and if I hit save and close this out, now you see I have all these paper size saved. Now if you do a lot of all over printings, you probably want to do this, because now I can just straight up click on this 13 by 39 setup and I'm good. I don't even have to check the other settings. I'm going to check it just for backup. Mirror image, bi-directional printing is on. I have my advanced custom color correction turned to no color adjustment. I don't want the printer selecting colors for me. I'm going to hit OK here. And watch how my paper got longer. You see how I have a little extra play space now to the top and the bottom of the paper, just in case, you know, something curls up or crunches up. You just want to have a little extra space when you're working with this rolled media, okay? You don't want to cut it too close. It's not like a sheet that pretty much nothing will go wrong. You could feed the paper a little incorrectly and it'll go through just a little bit crooked. Pretty much anything can happen. So give yourself a little place of playroom at the top and bottom of this roll media. All right, so that's it. So you would hit print here. It's going to give you that same warning that it's going to clip the image, and you would hit proceed and carry on with your day. All right, so we're not going to save these. That was the XL and the 2X. Now we'll do the 3X to the 5x, so 3x, 4x, and 5x. Go ahead and let that one open. This is the biggest file. So this is, if anything, if you ever have trouble with a file, this would probably be the one because this file is huge. It's a huge shirt. It's a huge file. So you just have to keep that in mind too. All right, so let's go through the regular old steps. Double click on the smart object. Go ahead and make sure your top layer is selected. Drag your image onto the artboard. Now, of course, this art is not meant for this size, but we're going to make sure that it fits regardless. All right. And of course, I'm probably going to pull this down a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and drag this below my current art. Turn off my current art, make sure everything fits, nothing crazy is getting cut off. I can go ahead and turn off my guidelines, turn off my website, and if I close out of here, I'm going to make sure that I hit yes to save it, or you can do File Save, Control S to save on a PC, Command S to save on a Mac. All right, and again, I'm just going to click on this top folder, go ahead and pull down the opacity, make sure that nothing is off track, everything looks good. Overlaps look on point. All right, so I will go ahead and turn this eyeball off. File, Export, Artboard to Files. And now y'all know the drill. So we're going to change this file name to DG-Artboard Content Only. Deselect Export Selected Artboards. File type is JPEG with 12 as the quality. All right, it says it was successful. Let's see for ourselves. 3x to 5x has 4 pieces. And let me show you what my folder looks like. So it has 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to open those 4 pieces up. Doesn't that look so much easier than pasting together? Well, I think I brought it down to 7 sheets. Oh no, it might be 8 sheets for a 3x. Knowing me, somehow I got it down to 7 sheets instead of 8 sheets. But yeah, it's a lot simpler. Okay, especially for a 3x to 5x shirt. So same deal here. I see that my title says 38 inches. So what am I going to do? I'm going to give myself 40 inches. When I cut my paper, I'm going to give myself 40 inches. So as a matter of fact, when you make your paper, you can make, yeah, let's see. Let's go File, Print. You can make the paper be 40 inches on the setting, or you can just cut the paper a little bit longer than the 38 inches and make the settings say 38 inches. Either way, it's going to give you a little bit of space here. So let's go ahead and go to the print settings. So I can use this 13 by 39 setting here. Because if I cut my paper 40 inches, that 39 setting is going to be fine. Or if you really want to be exact and do things methodically, I do not blame you. So if you want to set your paper size to 13 by 40, just to be safe, so that you remind yourself to cut 40-inch paper, I will not be mad at you. 13 times 40. And then we're going to save that. So now I have that as a paper option. If I want to save this as a preset, I can add and remove presets and save this as 13x40 true and 8 sub. Have to hit save, and now it's down here. And now I have that option to click. Okay, so you're gonna see it gave me a little more space at the top and bottom of the paper. So yeah, I would encourage you, especially when you first starting out, to not try so hard to save material, but to try to save your time and your energy, because that's what wears you out quicker than anything. You could try to do things and save so much energy, like save so much paper that you waste energy because you done cut off a certain part of the shirt that you didn't quite make the paper big enough, and now you have to print that whole section out again. So in order to avoid that, I say be safe, give yourself a little playroom, and then as you get better, as you get more experience, you may not need these extra 2 inches, and that's 2 inches of paper you can save every time for each tile, which does add up. But for now, especially if you're just now watching this tutorial, I want to encourage you to give yourself a little bit of leeway, okay? So of course I would print this. It would tell me that some clipping is going to occur. I would hit proceed and move along, okay? So I would do that for each of these pieces. And all of these pieces happen to be 38 inches, so you're good for that. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So we did all the adult sizes. We're going to do the youth size next. And I have 2 youth sizes. I have the extra small to small, and then I also have the medium to extra large, which is almost the equivalent of an adult size, okay? So we're going to go through this process just the same. If you notice this time, the paper is, you have a 13 by 19 here at the bottom, and then a 13 by 30 here at the top. So you're going to tile this one top to bottom to save the most paper that you can save, all right? Same old deal. We'll double click on the image. Go ahead and select the top layer. Drag our image in. Now, of course, remember what I told y'all when we design stuff, you have to keep in mind what scale you're designing for, because this is a youth shirt. I'm going to turn off the existing art here. I may end up cutting off some stuff that I don't want to cut off. So I'm making sure that on this extra small, I may cut my image off a little bit. So I'm going to Control T. I'm going to bring my image size down just a little bit so I don't lose anything important. I'm going to create a new layer above this, and I'm just going to go in with my gradient. Choose the one that goes foreground color to transparent. You'll see that checkerboard means transparent. And then the color I'm going to choose from my artboard. So I am holding down Alt and I'm clicking somewhere on my image, and it picked that color up for me, okay? And I'm just going to turn this off for a second so you can see where those little edges end. It is so blunt and abrupt. I don't like it. So instead of redesigning this for a youth shirt, I'm just showing you my shortcut. My shortcut is to just fade off where the adult shirt kind of cuts off into those blunt edges. And then down here, I don't want to use the black. So I'm going to hold down Alt. You see that? And I'm grabbing that burgundy color or that garnet color. And then I'm going to fade it from the bottom there, because most of this is just bleed off. If I turn on the guides here, you'll see that we're probably not even going to use that bottom of the shirt, but just in case, I don't want to see any harsh lines. Y'all know how I feel about that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the outlines. This looks okay to print. So you can do Control S. This time I'm going to do Control S to save. You saw it save. Now, if you saved it, when I close out, it's not going to ask me if I want to save it because I already saved it. All right, so I'm going to click on the top folder, bring down the opacity just to make sure I didn't move anything around. Excellent job. I'm going to turn off the red layer, File, Export, Artboard to Files. I'm going to select everything here, and I'll call this DG for Daddy's Girl, dash, and of course it's going to use the layer names here. And let's go ahead. We have Artboard to content only. Deselected, export selected artboards. We have JPEG selected as a file type. Export options are on with 12 as the quality here. Let's run it. 2 tiles, 1 and 2. Now before, I believe this one was a 3 13 by 19 sheets, okay? So imagine every time you're cutting down those sheets, it's not just that you don't have to put 2 sheets together, it makes it easier. The less pieces that you have to make a single piece, the easier it is to align them. Now, if you imagine that if this were 4 pieces here, just like the 13 by 19 large, at the intersection of 4 pieces, you have to make all 4 pieces line up in the middle. That's a pretty big deal, especially when it's in the middle of the shirt, the center of attention, okay? So doing the roll media will save you a lot of grief, a lot of headache when it comes to making sure that those points that what do you call them, those intersections are crucial, and you don't have as many intersections. And here we only have a 2-way intersection, right? It's just one overlap. But if we had 4 sheets of paper, we would have a 4-way intersection, and it will be right in the middle of his face, right? And that makes it a little more difficult to do. All right, so without rambling any further, let's go ahead and find our pieces. This was for our youth, 1 and 2. Now this is extra small and small. We were able to get that 2 pieces. And you'll notice you have some space up here. You see the lips there. You see lip there. So you have a little bit of space to cut where you'll be able to overlap, okay? So it does, but the thing about the template, it doesn't give you too much overlap area, because one thing you'll notice too, if you overlap too much paper, you will end up getting lines in your image because it's thickened in that area. And then also sublimation paper on top of sublimation paper will hinder the amount of heat that particular section is getting. And you all know inconsistent heat and inconsistent pressure are issues for sublimation. All right, so those are your 2 pieces. So this one says, and now this is a little bit different. So this one is a 13 by 30, but this one is a 13 by 19. So let me show you how you would print this. File, print. All right, so I'm going to make sure that I choose the appropriate paper or make the appropriate paper. So I'm going to use 13 by 32 because the image is 13 by 30. I'm going to give myself a little playroom, and then I don't even have to go through these settings because I just set myself up so smooth that I'm ready to go. All right, so now I can choose the landscape option here. And you see I have my little extra space on the edge there. Like I said, you get good and you start smelling yourself, you can go on and cut the paper down. But for now, give yourself a little space. All right, so Photoshop manages colors, all that stays the same. And I would hit print. It's going to ask me if I'm okay with the clipping. I will say proceed and go about my business. All right, now I'm going to close that one and show you for this one. Now, like I said, you still want to use the same roll media. You don't want to go use roll media for the top piece and then go grab one of your 13 by 19 sheets for the bottom piece. Now, you may be able to get away with that, but if you notice the paper that you buy, it has a lot number on it, okay? So just like with inks, with any type of materials that we use, any type of consumables that we use in this industry and many other industries, the date that something is made can totally differ. If you buy, matter of fact, I remember the Jerseys t-shirts, the 21Ms. Back in the day, they used to look like a bright white, kind of a bluish white. And then they changed to this little like pissy yellow white. And I had 2 different shirts, or I had the same model shirts from the same supplier. Obviously, they were different lots. So I had some of the yellowish shirts, some of the bright white shirts, and eventually they pretty much used whatever manufacturer with those yellowish shirts for a whole year. I was disgusted, and I think they may just now be getting back into the brighter shirts for the youth sizes. But anyhow, the whole point was that the same supplier, the same SKU number, can have different results. So use the same paper, because that paper that's on that roll came from the same lot. If you go use a paper roll from this lot, the same brand paper sheets from another lot, you're not guaranteed to have consistent results, if that makes sense. All right, so this one, I would still file print. I would pretend like I was doing it on a roll just the same. I would tell it I'm doing 13 by 19, make sure that it's going to feed it from the tray. Now on the 7720s, I think they call it the rear paper feed. I think that's what the name of that paper source is. Still feed it from the rear. Do not try to put it in the cassette. When you custom cut your paper, you're not guaranteed that you cut it the right size, and you don't want to stick it in that cassette and have it jam up your printer. Okay, so still just do everything exactly the same, even though it happens to be a 19-inch piece of paper. And in this case, you already have white space on each side, so 19 inches will be fine. But if you want to be consistent, go ahead and bump it up to 22 inches, okay, until you're comfortable with what you're doing. So if that's the case, if I was going to bump it up to 22, I'll go through that process with you. User defined size, we'll do 13. Oh, I just need 21 because it's 19. 13 by 21. So 13x21. Save that as a paper size. And then I'm going to save this as a preset now. And I'm going to put 13x21 true innate sublimation. Hit save, close. And in this case, I need to make it the landscape. So you see portrait, it was too narrow. You have to make sure you choose landscape whenever you're doing the longer pieces, okay? So that's it. I would hit print, then I would tell it to proceed, and that's that one. All right, and next we have the U medium to extra large. All right, and this pretty much performs just like that adult one where you had two long pieces and then the sleeves are butt up against one another. And I need to turn that on for you. I need to close that up so y'all don't look at it. Let me save that. All right, let's go ahead and change out the smart object. Make sure the top layer is selected. Let's drag in our artwork. Bring it down below the existing artwork. Turn off the existing artwork. And you'll notice that I have this little painted area around it because for the youth shirts, once again, we have to shrink our image. Or you just have to design on a youth template. This is my way of doing it just to kind of cut down on time. Now this is your large right here. The full extent of this is a youth extra large. You may never use youth extra larges. I don't. I stop at youth large, and then after that my next size is an adult small, because an adult small and a youth extra large are actually the same size. If not, the adult small is actually a little bit smaller than a youth extra large. So I just do away with the youth extra large. All right, so let's go ahead, add a new layer, and we're going to do this whole little fade off feature again. I'm going to hold down Alt, grab my burgundy color from down here. Now, mind you, I'm not painting on top of my image. I'm painting on this blank layer right here. So I am saving my artwork. I'm not destroying my artwork. Oh, I chose the gold that time, which doesn't look bad, but I'm trying to keep it consistent. I'm trying to choose that black there. Choose black here. And this one, that was a little lighter black. Let me get Get more of a true black there. All right, same thing here from the top. And it's not perfect, but this does a lot better than having to redesign it for a youth shirt. All right, so I can go ahead and turn off my guidelines now. I can turn off the website. If I close here, it's going to ask me if I want to save. I'm going to say yes. All right, and now I can check right here, make sure that everything's lined up. I'm bringing my opacity down. Nothing looks funky, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the visibility, or turn off the eyeball there. Now I'm noticing my size here says 13 by 29, so I'm going to take heed to that when I do my prints. So we're going to export Artboard to files. Control A will select everything there, delete it, and let's do DG dash. Save it in the same location with all of the same settings. Run it. And this one should also be 2 long pieces and 1 short piece. All right, so let's go ahead and open those up. 1, 2, and 3. All right, there's left, and right. And then of course you have the sleeves as well. And like I say, you just slice those sleeves right down the middle there, and you should have overlap as well as minimal use of paper there. So for this one, it's 29 inches. So if I were to print that, I would do what, 31. So file, print, go to your print settings, and I can make a 31-inch paper setting, or I could, let's just make the 31-inch paper setting. Let's go to user defined, 13, 30. Go ahead and save that as 13x30 as my paper size. Save it. Okay. And then I'm also going to save this as a whole preset. Okay. Now, once you have these presets saved, this is going to save you in the future. So do this one time, do it right, and you're going to save yourself some headache when you're trying to last minute print some all over shirts. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save that one. And now I can choose my 13 by 30 as my option. And this time I'm going to make sure that it does portrait. And see, I have my little space at the top and bottom there, so I'm good to go. I could hit print, let it proceed, and that will be it. Now the smaller piece there is 13 by 14. So file, print, print settings. We're going to make a paper size, so go user defined. We're going to do 13 by 16. 13, 16, hit save. And go ahead and save that as a preset. 13x16, true, innate, sub. All right, and this one I have to determine, I think I need my paper to be wide instead of tall. Let's see. This one is, actually I think it's 13 inches wide. Uh-oh. Yeah, so I'm gonna let it be portrait because I have maximal space there. So yeah, it's 13 inches wide there. And that's it. I would hit print, proceed, and just to test my theory here, I'm going to get my ruler. Or no, we can just check the properties. Image size. There we go. So it's 13-inch width. All right, so that's done. Nope, we don't need to save it. All right, and I think that was the last youth size. Then we have an infant size and a toddler size. So if y'all tough it out with me on that, we will complete this demonstration and then I'll take y'all's questions you may have. So again, we're gonna go through this real quickly. Double click on the smart object, select the top layer, drag our full image in, drag the image underneath the existing image. It's going to clip down. Let's turn off the existing image and everything fits in here. I'm going to cut off girl a little bit. So again, I'm going to do Control T. I'm going to modify the size of this graphic so that I don't lose anything important. I want everything to be within my text safe area. That little dotted line there. And then I'm going to do the same thing I just did before. Go ahead and add a new blank layer there. I'm going to grab my gradient tool, hold down Alt, pick up that black color right there, hold down the Shift key so that my gradient is even, it's not at an angle. I can use that same black for the sleeve over here. I'm starting on the inside meat, pulling it in. Now at the bottom, I can show you what it looks like if you did black. It doesn't look bad if you do black down there, but I figured I'd show you how to use the color picker tool. So I choose Alt, it turns into a color picker automatically. I tap the color that I want, and I'm still on the gradient tool. Start from the inside meat, hold down Shift, drag it up. Go ahead and turn off my outline there. Now I have this block on just because depending on what style shirt you use for a toddler, this is just like the safest way to do it. However, you could turn off the block and turn on just the shirt as well. So you have that option in all of the templates. You have a block option, and then you have your neater, cleaner, takes up less ink t-shirt option. Let's go ahead and save that, let it update. Let's go ahead and select the top layer or group and bring down that opacity. Okay, nothing looks out of place, perfect. We'll turn off the visibility or that eyeball there on the all group. Then we'll go to File, Export, Artboard to Files. Let's go ahead and Control A to select all of that. DG dash, save it in the same place and run it. Now this one happens to be two 13 by 19 sheets. So if you don't mind printing right up to the edge of your 19-inch paper, you could use 19-inch paper for both of these tiles. However, if you're doing the roll media and you can give yourself a little bit of space, give yourself a little bit of space. It's not necessary though. If you're going to print right up to the edge, your printer will make you give yourself a little bit of margin there, but it will be cutting it very, very close. So here you would just print 13 by 19 and it would tell you it's going to clip some of the image off, and you would just say okay, because it would not clip off too much of the bleed area where it would make a difference for you. Okay, so this one we would just go on and print regular. File, print. Oh, lied. That's not where you print from. Never print from the template. Definitely print from the JPEGs that you're exporting. You see all these JPEGs I have now, but they're telling me what size they are. All right, so what's the last one? We just did the left and right of the toddler. And then that way, if one print messes up, if that toddler print messed up, you can go back to your folder. You can clearly identify which one was the toddler one and print just that one tile out again. All right, so here we go, file, print. I'm going to show you what it looks like if I just choose my regular 13 by 19. I'm going to show you how close it cuts. Okay, you see that? It's going to cut very, very close, but that is the natural margin. If you were printing full size on a 13 by 19 paper, that's what you would do anyhow. So you can just choose the 13 by 19 if you want it to be truly safe and give yourself a little extra room, then you can create a custom paper size. I use this paper size when I'm making the long socks. So let's go ahead and do a user defined. When I do the long socks, I do a 13 by 21 just to give myself enough bleed area for the really long, the size 13 socks. So what did I say, 21? So we're going to do 13 x 21. Okie doke. And then I'm going to save that as a preset. 13 x 21. True. Innate. So we'll save it. Oh, I might have it on here already. Did I have this the whole time? I guess so. Maybe we did it just a moment ago. So yeah, 13 by 21 is on there. You can choose that, and then I'll show you. See, it gives you a little extra space top and bottom, so you don't have to be concerned about whether you cut off important part of the image. All right, so that's it. I would hit print, let it tell me that it's going to clip, and tell it to proceed, and that will be it. All right, and there's only one more template, and that would be the infant size. Now this one, you can get away, if you're doing a tiny shirt, you can get away with probably using 113 by 19, but it basically will only get you a 0 to 3 month shirt. Okay, so that's why I just went ahead and put the 0 to 3 month with the other sizes. But if you happen to be doing some 0 to 3 months, feel free to just print just print the whole image on a 13 by 19 sheet. You may clip a little bit off of the sleeves though. So I like being safer than sorry, because I hate printing something out twice and I can't do anything with that previous print. So I pretty much aim to design for the smallest, let it bleed to the largest size, and that way I'm kind of getting the best of both worlds. All right, same deal here. We're going to double click on the image, the smart object. We will drag into the file. Let's grab our completed artwork. Now this time what I did is I mistakenly dragged it. Remember I told you if you had the top layer selected, it would drag it to the top. And whoops, that's not what I did. So I'm going to right click on this, create a clipping mask. That's why this says, if you look at what this layer says, I'm going to drag this out so you can see. Right click, create a clipping mask. If you right click and create a clipping mask, then this image will clip to whatever's in this folder. All right. So I'm going to try something here. I'm just going to do a color overlay for this little faded area here. And right now it's white. I'm going to choose maybe that black color. Bam. I should have did that before. Because obviously I have the the gradient here for a reason. Same deal. I use the same size image to shrink it down to little kid size image. So I'm going to Control T. I have to bring this in because when you have these little baby images, you can't possibly think that an adult size or adult scale image is going to fit. And because the onesies are so long, basically you're going to shrink your design quite a lot to fit there. And because that doesn't quite fit like I want it, I'm going to go ahead and do a new layer on top of this and just do my thing with the gradient. Hold down Alt, pick up that black, left, top, right, and then for the bottom I can choose the red color and just pull that up. All right, and let me go ahead and turn off my guides, turn off my website, make sure everything flows nicely. I think we're good to go. I will hit yes to update my smart object. All right, so make sure everything is lined up by selecting the top group, bringing down the opacity. Looks good. I'm going to crank it back up, turn off the eyeball, and this bottom piece is only going to be a 13 by 8. So if I want to take my 13-inch roll media and only make it about 10 inches so that I save a little space, you can do that too. So File, we're going to export it, Artboard to Files, Control A here, we're going to do DG dash. Everything else is the same. Let's run it. This is the last template, y'all. So any questions that y'all have, go ahead and start, posting them my way, and I'll take a look at them in just a moment. All right, that one was quick. Let's go ahead and see what our pieces look like. There's our infant, top and bottom. Like I said, we print from the JPEGs. We're not going to print from the tile there. All right, so, or from the template. All right, so this one's 13 by 19. The other is 13 by 8. So let me show you this 13 by 19 because I don't know how much you're going to cut off. The width is still 13. You can go ahead and use a 13 by 19 paper for this. File, print. I'm going to tell it 13 by 19, which is my standard size anyway. And then I'm going to tell it that I want it to print the landscape way. And you'll see it's just going to cut a little bit off of the edge of the sleeves, and that's fine because that's all extra bleed area. And I have enough of the image here to continue that overlap. So I would print that one out. It'll tell me about clipping the image. I would hit proceed. So that would be how I print the top piece. Now the bottom piece, I can save a little bit of paper here. You have 13-inch roll media. When I go to print, I can go to my print settings. Now I'm going to choose the 13 by 19 just to make sure that's my basic setting. And then I will change my paper size to 13, and it said 8, so I'm going to put 10. So we'll do 13x10, save, hit OK here, and then I'm going to save this as a new preset. 13x10, true, and 8, sub. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot to save it. I think I just hit close instead of save. So let's do it again. 13x10. And I'm just sitting there looking at it like it was supposed to pop up. I get goofy when I get sleepy. True, innate, sub. And then I have to hit save. Then I can hit close. And it's going to pop up down here. Okay, and now I'm going to use up a lot less paper. So it's making sure that it's 13 inches. And, oh, I know what I told it was 13 inches wide. So I don't have to choose a landscape feature for that. So it's reading as 13 inches wide and 10 inches tall here. And I would just hit print. Save myself a little paper there rather than printing on a 13 by 19. Or using up too much of my roll media. I would hit proceed here and it would start printing, hopefully. All right, so that's it. So all of the templates, they work. I wanted to make sure that they worked in real time, worked for you before I uploaded them. So that's why we walk through every little step together so that you have a full tutorial video, but we also make sure that each of these templates work as they are meant to work. All right, so I'm sure we have some questions. I'm going to go ahead and go to the Academy. Erica, if you can, please post the Academy link for those who want to know where this is going to be and how they purchase this template. And I'm going to check for any questions in the meantime. Y'all are so welcome. Thank you for being grateful. I appreciate you all. Yeah, I'm glad that this is tickling you, Rara. I want to see you complete this because I think you're gonna have a blast with this system. This really was something that woke me up out of a dream. I think because I was getting ready to do one of these classes like we're gonna do on the 28th, and I knew what the hardest part of that class was going to be is keeping track of all of the different numbers for what size your artboard should be, what size, how much you should inch over this and how much of an overlap you need. We would have to do math to properly print it. And so I wanted to create a system that gave you the most automated, consistent way to get the same results every time without overthinking. Oh, do I print 8.5 inches or do I print 8 inches and do the half-inch overlap? I didn't want you having to think about all the math because these shirts are stressful enough to do. So I really wanted to come up with a tool for you all to take that stress away and let you deal with the stress of having to do all over last minute tease. Okay. So I'm just reading through your comments and questions now. How to use the template with the 8.5 by 14. Monica, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think you want to do it with 8.5 inch paper. It's way too many tiles. It's decent to get 4 tiles to match up. It's difficult to get 8 tiles to match up. When you're talking about more than 8 tiles, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it is nerve wracking because every new tile that you add to it, it's like you have to be so perfect with the first, when you do 4 pieces, you have to be perfect with at least 2 pieces to get the other 2 pieces to line up where you can be satisfied without spending all day trying to get them to line up. 8 pieces is just double the trouble. And when you're talking about 12 to 16 pieces, possibly depending on what size shirt you're printing, it, it ends up being way more of an issue. Now, 8.5 by 14, that's gonna pretty much be like a 13 by 19 split in half. So the tiles where I have 4 templates, you'd end up using 8 sheets. The tiles where I have 7 templates, you would end up using 14 sheets. So if enough, like I said this before, if enough people ask me for it, I will make a template that has that. But the more you overlap too, the more uneven spots you're gonna have in your print. You're gonna have just more opportunity to mess up. That's the idea. Corey, who's buying your first roll media? I don't know, Corey. I tell you what, I tell you how you can get one of your customers to buy your first roll media. Go ahead and tell them that you're doing like an all over special, and then that way you can use whatever funds from that first order. Well, I know you're already getting orders for all over shirts. You use the funds from that order and go ahead and get your supplies. So Rara, if you want the hands-on learning, we're going to do the one-on-one class is this Sunday. I want you to do that one with me. I think you've already done it though. But if you want to do that one with me live, that way I can make sure that you understand the photo. So let me go over a few things here because I might be going over some folks' heads that might be new. The 101 class is just where we're learning how to design an all over shirt from scratch. That same design that I showed you today was like a design I literally threw together in like 10 minutes. Okay. We're going to spend, of course, a lot more time on that than 10 minutes because as we're designing, you're going to be learning about the tools of Photoshop. You're going to be learning how to do your gradients, your color overlays, using your special brushes because we're going to use the paint splash brushes to create our own artistic look. You're going to use a special font, that repeat font. You're going to get that for free and be able to use it. We're going to learn how to fade off our photos so that we don't have that little hard line wherever the photo or wherever the image cuts off. We're going to fade that off and make it look very natural. So we'll use layer mask and we'll use the brush in order to create that look. So I think this is going to be exciting for maybe some of you who just want to know, if I were to open Photoshop right now, how could I create something and print it today? This is the type of class for that. All right. So I don't want you to be intimidated if you're a first timer to Photoshop. As long as you know how to open Photoshop, I got you from there. Okay. I have you from there. I will make sure that you have a successful experience. So that's the first part. So everybody's going to take their one-on-one image or any, you can do any of these. If you've completed any of these other classes or your own, I'm just going to require that it be able to fit on our all over template. And we're going to go through that in class too. All right. So when we do the class for the end of the month, we do the physical class where we print the images. So you'll either be doing the 13 by 19 sheets, the 13-inch roll media, or some of you have 24-inch printers. So you can do your 24-inch roll media. And no matter what template that you're using, we're going to use the same process to upload our images, to export our art files, to print out those art files, and then to trim them and put them together. Now, the final step for that is after you trim them and put them together, of course, we're going to tape them together. We'll have our board, so you're going to know what size board to get from Home Depot or Lowe's. You can usually do that a couple days in advance so that you know that you have it on deck. As long as you have your board, you're able to print on our live session, and that you have if you already purchased the template, you're going to get a discount code for the class. Now, if you had never purchased a class before, of course, I'm going to have a separate price where it will be the class and you purchase the template separate. So for you all who've already purchased the template, don't worry, we're going to have a discounted price, so you will not be paying $100 for the live class, but it'll be $100 minus whatever your discount is. Okay, or it will be $100 minus the, yeah, whatever the discount is. So for this live class, I'm going to allow you all to use your coupon codes for the live class. I normally do not do that just because it's a very, very hectic class and I deserve $100 per student for that class. I deserve more than that. But because I want to make sure that you all are, really equipped with using the template and very confident in how you put these things together, then I'm going to work with you on that. Okay, this will be the only class that I allow a coupon code for the physical class for the all over session. And for you to mark your calendars, that's going to be on the 28th. So the 14th, we're doing the 101 session. Okay, on the 21st, for those of you who've already gotten your other stuff together, we're going to do our Shopify websites on the 21st. That's that class. And then on the 28th, we'll do the all over paste up session. And I may need to do it on the 27th, depending on how many students we have. So I need to do a poll in the group So make sure you're in the Innate Creatives Facebook group, because I think we'll do that on the 27th, just so we have more time. Because last time we ended up rolling till to 1 in the morning. And I was there with y'all. Y'all were there with me because I told y'all we could have even broken it up, but y'all was so excited that y'all wanted to keep going. So I don't want to do that on a school night or a work night. So let's plan to do it on the 27th for the paste up session, or the physical all over class. Let's do that on the 27th. All right, and then on the 28th we'll probably just have a regular session, Photoshop session. Okay. Uh-oh, Erica's picking on you again. What did Erica do? Oh, Lord. Y'all tickle me for real. I understand, Rara. I turned down a lot of money not doing all over shirts too, and it was really because the time that it takes. But if we can use some of these tools to cut down that time and make it a more efficient process, I mean, y'all's customers made you all demand it, and you all as my clients demanded it for me. So we came up with a solution that gets you as close to being able to do these all over prints without a large format printer. Now, eventually, I want you to gauge this as whether this is something you want to get into in the future. But we do sell the all over prints if you want that. I just know a lot of times you just don't have the time to have something shipped to you. So you need an immediate solution. So this is that immediate solution. If they want 50 all over shirts and you want to press them with the 16 by 20 press, but you don't want to sit there and do all that pasting up, then order 50 prints from us and we can get them to you. I think it's as low as $10 per print when you're doing, I think it's over 10 prints. Might be mistaken, it might be $11. But just go to innatelab.com and order the prints, and then that way you're more focused on pressing it rather than trying to tile it. But when you have like 3, 4 shirts, or sometimes you have 10 shirts that you need to do by tomorrow, you have to do the paste up method or the tiling method. There's no way around it, okay? And I understand that. So this is my idea of a solution. I don't care if I'm shooting myself in the foot or even, taking away from my own bottom line, because once you all are out there in the world as more confident and better entrepreneurs, then that that's my purpose. That's the purpose that I stand to serve. And eventually it comes back to me tenfold. So I'm not worried about that. So I share with you all, and I try to develop solutions for you all because I know what it's like to be in your spot. Trust me, I know what it's like to stay up to 4 o'clock in the morning working on last minute orders because you really care about someone and your customers, and you have these remembrance shirt orders. Or I remember one night it was club shirt orders, and I'm up to 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm supposed to be going to the club with the folks. I can't even make it to the club because I'm making their shirts up until the time that they're performing at the club. So I get it. And I really, I've been through it. I've seen it all, and I want to help you all through it as well. So if there's something that really eats up your time or eats up your money, then let me know, because I can help to develop a solution for that. Okay. Same thing with artwork. If you find out that, hey, I'm just buying PNGs and buying PNGs and I want to learn how to make this myself, tell me what it is that you want to learn. I had so many people come up to me when I was making shirts at events, and they would all ask me, did I airbrush? Now, I don't have any airbrush equipment out there at FAMU Homecoming, or when I'm at the flea market or any other on-demand football games, Little League or whatever. I have nothing but a printer and a computer screen to ask me, do I airbrush? So this is the reason why this template exists, because so many people ask me about airbrushing. Instead of telling them no, I decided, well, let's come up with a solution where it looks airbrushed. So hence why this is one of the most popular templates. All right, so I know I'm just talking y'all's head off, but before I go, I'm going to go ahead and show you all with the Academy. So I know I get questions on this, and there are probably a couple of questions tonight for some people asked in the group, and I told them that we would clarify any questions that you have tonight for the Academy. So some people are asking, hey, I'm a member, but I can't use my coupon code. I want you to understand where your coupon code is first and foremost. When you're a member, whether it's the $30 member or the $60 member, you have two links, okay? You're going to have the four courses per month. That's one part. The other part is, it looks like a little credit card. Okay, now if you are a $60 VIP member, this is what you will see. Of course, you won't have to buy it because you will have access to it. This is what you'll go to, the master credit codes list. And this list is going to change very frequently. So make sure that you check this list to see what the active coupon codes are. For the live classes, you can only use the live code for the live classes. So if you're a $60 member and you do not use your credits to attend the live class, you possibly want to consider being a $30 member, because the whole point of the $60 membership is if you go to just one live class, it's going to save you money. So every month we offer 4 live courses. So if you attend at least one of those live courses, the $60 membership is a great deal for you, because you get to attend all 4 courses if you want to. When you attend those live courses, you also get the templates and everything. You unlock those early just by coming to the live sessions. If you just know that you're not going to be able to make the time, or that you're one of the people that you may not want to do it live, you may want to sit on your own time where you can pause the video, then the $30 session may be best for you, or the $30 membership may be best for you, because it does not include any live courses. Okay, but you can always use your coupon code to attend a live course. So if there's a live course that you really want, then you use your 67% off code to get 67% off that live course. And all of these upgrades are new to the membership. So we're trying to make it more accessible, more affordable, and you really do get a great deal of a bang for the buck. Okay, so just to let you know, with the membership, these 4 courses, you get, whether you're enrolling in the $30 or $60 membership, you get these 4 courses immediately. That means the second you sign up, you have 4 classes with 4 templates at your disposal. Then by the end of the month, so every 7 days, you're going to unlock a new course. And they go in sequence. So if you're ever wondering what the next course is going to be, you can take a look here. It will automatically unlock in your membership. So 7 days after you've been a member, you'll unlock the sock course, where it teaches you how to make your own custom patterns. 14 days later, you'll unlock this master template shirt. 107 is going to unlock 21 days later, etc. So you can kind of see what the lineup looks like in the future. Now, they will automatically unlock for you as long as you're a member. They're going to unlock for free. However, if you want to unlock something early, let's just say that one of these courses really catches your eye, or it will be really helpful for a project that you currently have to work on, then let's say, for instance, you're doing a football game and you really want this helmet one where you can change the colors, change the logos, etc. This one would not open up for you until week 19, because it's course number 123. So if you don't want to wait 19 weeks for this one, you can use your 67% off code that's in here if you're a $30 member, or you can use your 75% off code if you are a $60 member, and you can unlock any course early. You can pay for any exclusive ones. Like this is an exclusive template. You can use your coupon code for that. Okay, so the idea of the membership is, as long as you stay a member and keep me ticking, keep me creating courses and content, then I'm going to reward you by giving you access to these assets at a very deep discount. So for instance, each of these pre-recorded classes are $30. You get 4 of them every month. So if you're a $30 member, you get, or a $60 member, you're getting $120 worth of classes automatically unlocked for you. Then if you're a $60 member, on top of that, you have the option to attend these live courses, which is normally a $60 value for one live course. So you get another $120 value on top of that if you're a $60 member. So I really want you, and you're unlocking that class early. So you don't have to wait to unlock that class if you're attending the live. So we have like really like riddled this thing with all types of incentives and really made it worth the value of you spending, because I know what it's like to have a recurring fee. You know, this is one of those things that is not like a gym membership where you purchase it and you just let it go to waste. Like, I want you all to want to use this. I want you all to be excited to have this resource. And I want it to become something where you tell me what you need, what you're spending money out there, and that one class could save you. This one class right here, where is it? How many times have y'all bought one of these peace, love, and whatever PNG files from Etsy? Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna wait on that answer. Has anybody here spent, and just, you know, tell me how many dollars you may have spent, and even if it's not this exact template, how many dollars you spent on templates that are PNGs, you cannot edit them, you wouldn't know how to recreate it if you wanted to, but you spend money on art. And I'm gonna wait on that answer. And the reason why I'm asking that is because I don't want you to go out there and buy the fish. I want to teach you how to fish. Okay. So, like I said, I may be shooting myself in the foot, but I don't want to design all the art for everybody in the world. I just want to encourage some really great artists to make really great art. Rara says the airbrush template is a Florida thing. You may be right about that. It's definitely a Florida thing. Yes, Kim, great question. So the 123, no, 123, it's two versions of it. And I'm going to click on it just to show you. I'll show you. So 123, it's not going to show you the files, but it'll show you the contents of the files. Let's see. I could be lying. Nope. Okay. So see here, here's the all over version right here. And then there should be one that's not the all over version. No, I don't think I downloaded the all over version for y'all. So I'll check on that, Kim. You could be right there. So you're saying this one right here is not the all over version? Let me check my files. Let me do it now, because y'all know, you already know, when I get off this live, I'm gonna drink me some water and take my butt to bed. So this is 120. Oh, you said 121. 121. Let me check. Oh, yeah, you said 123. This is 123. Let me check my 123. Oh no, what we did in the video is we turned it from an all over. Yeah, so it's an all over, and I teach you in the video how to make it into a 13 by 19. So that should be the file that pops up. It should be a full all over shirt. And then of course in the video, I show you how to break it down to a 13 by 19 by adding your layer mask and resizing it. So I'm gonna leave that one alone. Let's see. Kim, I completely understand. And if there is artwork that you are purchasing, like I said, the peace love thing was something that you all brought to my attention as a popular style of art. and you are purchasing as PNG. So if there's something that that you see that you would like to be able to have an editable version of, let me know and we'll make it happen. As a matter of fact, this one was one of y'all's suggestions too. Let me pull this one up. And quite popular too. So this one here, we can change the color of the t-shirt, we can change the image of the t-shirt. We learned how to change the color of the shoes, how to bring in our own image. Let's say you take a photo of some shoes, you can change the color of those shoes that you bring in. We also had the denim here. We changed the color of the denim to make it match or to make it contrast. So that's really important for the Etsy store. So for those of you who are considering doing the Etsy store class next Sunday, you have to have course number 122 and course number 201 done, because you're going to need your banners done, you're going to need your mock-ups done, and that's it. And then we're going to go ahead and put together a really cool store all live. Okay. Sounds great, Rara. Well, I'm looking forward to it as well. I'm looking forward to you showing us how your design life has changed. Okay, so we'll all be a witness to that, and we all pay attention to how we start off and how far we've come. Corey's here tonight, and she's one of my most faithful students, and didn't know a thing about Photoshop when she first started, but is one of my best students. Okay. Awesome, Chrissy. Chrissy said she made the peace love design for her daughters with the school mascot, and the teachers both sent her messages. That's how you got to do it. I know a lot of this stuff gets mixed up as far as us doing a lot of, personal uh, basically personal designs of like the NFL stuff. And if we get out into our communities and we make our community athletes feel like the NFL stars that are on posters and on t-shirts, then that's going to garner you so much public attention, especially in your local area, that you're going to make that kid feel like a superstar. You're going to make that mom feel like she's already representing her little future NFL player or future softball athlete. That's the spirit that you're going to rile up in your local area, because the way that we design is so that you could put a professional athlete in that template, you can put your local kid in that template, and either one, they're going to look phenomenal. Okay, so I want you to have that confidence. I want you to have that presence. I want you to use the mess out of these templates to sell your final goods. And I have to reiterate that the templates that you use, make sure that you're not selling PNGs, sublimation prints, or of course, sharing or selling the Photoshop files. If you ever want to refer someone to the artwork, go ahead and sign up for an affiliate code. And as a matter of fact, let me pull up my affiliate code links here, because I want y'all to get paid for sharing. I don't want us to become our own worst enemies and worst competition by having people share and sell art. So I've done my best to basically give you all resources from my heart. Like, I really do work hard for this stuff, and I want you all to flourish in your efforts, but I also don't want somebody selling my efforts, if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm gonna go to get my sheets here, and I'm going to copy and paste. There are two affiliate links, okay? One is an affiliate link just for the academy. So if somebody's interested in taking the classes, that's the affiliate link for the academy. And then I have another affiliate link for the Innate Lab website if they're purchasing ink, blanks, templates, that sort of thing. So if you ever share anything, don't share files, share links, share your affiliate link. You will get 10% commission on anything they purchase, whether it's a digital file, whether it's ink, whether it's socks, any of that stuff. So please keep that in mind, that anything that you purchase, you can also make money on sharing where you got that from. Okay, and then finally, I want to tell y'all the difference between Innate Lab and the Innate Academy right now. So the Academy is where we're doing our courses. All right, that's what we've been talking about today. The Innate Lab website is where you can shop for templates here, okay? And you can also shop for the ink, the socks. If you are doing the large format printer and you want to convert it over to sublimation to 7270, we have the high quality pro level. Now this is the pro level ink. The colors pop even more than I know the True Colors ink pop very, very well. They have consistent color. You don't get blurples, which are blue purples or purple blues. You get true blues, you get true blacks, and you get true reds. So there's no more orange reds or pink reds. You're getting true reds, okay? So that's what the True Colors is all about. And these are the Eco Tank Fit bottles. They also work with the 7710s and 20s. You use the needle and the syringe for that. These are the big bottle versions of the small bottles. If you just want to, if you use up that much ink for your 13 by 19 inch printer and you want the bigger bottles, that's for that. And then for the big printer, we have the pro level ink that that's 1,000 milliliters. It, you know, it's just it's indescribable how well the colors work. And I say that because I have compared a lot of different inks over time. Okay. And then of course we have a Printhead Cleaner as well that's non-destructive. It won't destroy the metal in your print heads. And then we just have a few substrates. We have these socks, which are super popular because they already have the inserts installed in them for free. So if you buy them in bulk, you'll see that you can get different discounts. I think if you're doing at least 10 or something, I forget what the price is there. You'd think I would know. I can't remember what the price is, but they go as low as like $2 or something a piece when you're doing multiple sets of them. But they do have small, medium, and large, and they each come with the jigs already installed, so you can sell them with the jigs in there to keep them stiff and show off the design, or you can take the jigs off and perhaps use them a couple more times before you discard them. But they come preloaded, ready to go. You don't have to burn your fingers up trying to load and unload jigs especially when you have a lot of jobs to do at once. So those are some things I want y'all to consider. That's Innate Lab. And then if you're ever on Innate Lab and you wonder where the Academy is, you can click right here on Innate Academy, or you can go to academy.innatelab.com. Well, Rara, go ahead and use your other ink. I'm never going to tell you, hey, take that mess out and use my stuff, because I know how important resources are. Use your resources, use what's in there, and then if you really want to compare the difference, then go ahead and try the True. Try the True and let me know what it do. I'm goofy right now. Don't let me start freestyling. Can you use roll media with the 7720? Absolutely, Nancy. And I went over a video. I'm going to link this video too in that class because this shows you like a different paste up session, but I used the roll media and showed you how to install it in there and of course print it. So you can see on this one, I think I have like 4 of these printers set up in this kitchen. And I have one of them printing here, and the other one printing here. That way, if anything happens, you see I got that little error button. It's probably telling me somewhere in the middle of my print that my black cartridge is out or some other lie. So when I tell y'all I'm happy to have the Eco Tank now and not be changing out these cartridges, it is life altering. But in the meantime, if you're working with that 7720, you put it to work. Corey, I didn't mean to call nobody stuff Ness. I'm sorry. That was a little petty of me. Did I call somebody stuff Ness? All right, let's see. Yes, you can use the roll with the 15,000. I have used, now what I do is I don't use the roll. Watch this video because I tell you there's a part one to this. That's what I'm missing. The part one. Where's the part one? Ba-dum-bum. There is a part one to this where I show you how to, and this must be the part one. I probably need to label it part one. That could be helpful. You know what? We need to get some free Photoshop subscriptions as much as they advertise on my videos. Okay, so this is the one where I teach you how to print. Now, what I did for this one was I actually used the Adobe PDF to tile, but that feature is not free anymore. So that's why I created our tile. I was trying to see if I'm gonna ever show you how to actually print it. Nope, that's not it. That ain't it. Mm-mm-mm. Well, I will have to find the video because there is a video where I show you exactly how I print. And this is, oh, this is it. I'm showing you how to cut the paper right here. And this is what I'm talking about. Get you one of those guillotine cutters because you don't want to be sitting there trimming your paper all crooked and then sticking that in your printer and thinking that you're not going to have some paper jam issues, okay? So this is me showing you how to cut your blank paper before you put it in the printer. Okay, so I'll show y'all that. I'm good. Oh no, pay stub, rah rah, not pay stubs. I don't need to see your pay stubs. That's y'all business now. But a pay stub session is something we used to do in newspaper. I don't know if you know, but those big old newspapers, we used to have to print 11 by 17 sheets, and then we used to have to paste them together. So that we used to call it a paste up session, where we would paste all those sheets together to make one big old newspaper. So basically, this is the same thing. We call it tiling or paste up sessions. So that's just a term that I'm used to using, and we pretty much do a paste up session together. That's that roll media right there. And like I said, I'm gonna put that video in the session as well, so you can see that. All right, Simply Beautiful says she's currently pressing an all over ish hoodie. Yes. Yeah, that all over ish is another one of the ones that people decided to purchase early. This one here is a huge file now, but we had some fun with this thing. Basically, a lot of what I do is I try to come up with ways to use smart objects and similar elements in order to replicate doing artwork for you. So yes, we may change a couple of things on this template, but when we change the couple of things on this square template or this rectangular template here, it updates to your mockup. It will show your customer what it looks like all pressed out. This was a really in-depth class. So yes, it's a large file. And go ahead and let me know, Simply Beautiful, now that you've been doing that all over hoodie, is it still difficult for you, or is it you like riding a bike? Now you kind of do it without thinking. Somehow you keep clicking on the X in my video. I'm sorry, love. But yeah, so rah that's an important one too. And like I said, once you get to where all these, I have a YouTube version of me demoing it. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll go back through the classes and put the demo version. You don't have to purchase a class to see the demo. The demo is going to show you kind of just like I'm doing right now. I'm showing you live. I'm showing you what it does. The classes are so that you get the in-depth step by step. And what I do on YouTube is I still give away a lot of knowledge. I still spend a lot of time with you all, but we can do it so much more concentrated within the classes. And that's the difference there. Thank you, E. E says, congratulations, Erica. Erica Kane in the NA Creatives Facebook group. She is my right and left hand woman. She says, congratulations on 9,000 followers on YouTube and 2,000 members in the NA Creatives group. Y'all, that is amazing. I promise I've just been I haven't really been celebrating those milestones because I'm one of those people that don't even celebrate my own birthday because I'm probably making some stuff for somebody else. So I need to take some time and celebrate these milestones. That's a big deal. So I appreciate you all because you all are the ones who got us to that point. 9,000 followers. Boy, and we just started a year ago. So that it's only up from here. We're gonna keep it pushing and pumping. That's awesome. Simply Beautiful says it's easy for her to do those the all over-ish, especially since she charges different prices to considering how much she covers the shirt. So I do the same thing, like how many presses or how much paper I actually do it by how many presses. How many times I'm gonna have to close that heat press and open it up is what I'm gonna charge you for. So that particular all over-ish hoodie has a lot of white space, but it looks very, very involved. And it's not as involved as you might think. So you have two 13 by 19 pieces at the bottom, or now that you know how to use roll media, you can just use that roll media for the piece at the bottom, a 13 by 19 on the front. You have a 13 by 19 that's split in half for the sleeves, and another 13 by 19 that's split in half for the bottom of the sleeves, if you even want to do the bottom. And then if you do the top of the hood, that's one 13 by 19 split in half as well. So you can or cannot or don't have to do all of these locations. It just gives you something to make it look all over when these people act like they don't want white shirts. Okay, so that was my whole deal. I had to convince an entire community of sports lovers that white shirts were the ish. Okay, and in order to do that, I had to have some bomb artwork. I had to have some creative ways of making the shirt not really look white. And I did not want to have a big old rectangle on the front of my shirts. So the whole time I developed artwork for the community, I was focused on, well, how can I create these layer masks and how can I do artwork that won't look like an iron-on transfer? This is sublimation. Let me show out for sublimation. And I converted all that whole community into sublimation to this day. And we're talking about a rural community in Florida. That community knows the word sublimation by heart. And I've actually raised some sublimators in that area, if I may say so myself. So I'm really super proud. Of that accomplishment too. So since then, I've done everything completely online, but that was my brick and mortar baby, and I raised it for about 3.5 years, and raised some kids in the community at the same time, or they raised me, whichever one you want to call it, and it was one of the most rewarding and and arduous tasks of my life, but I love it. All right, loves, y'all have any other questions? Because we're just chilling, hanging out now. Y'all are doing a little Q&A with me. I don't blame y'all for asking me randomness and having the opportunity to talk with me. Bonita, absolutely. You're welcome. So this is how I would charge for the all over hoodie. Already, I order these hoodies like from Sanmar. They're about $20 a piece. Some of you have been finding them at like 5 and below, or some other places where you may get them cheaper. Even if I could get them cheaper, I'm going to charge what it costs me to get them from my regular supplier, just because I don't know if the cheap source is going to have them. So the base cost of the hoodie is 20, and then I charge a little bit more for how many presses, even if I'm just using a single 13 by 19 sheet. For instance, these sleeves. So the front image, if I were doing a front image hoodie only, it will probably be $45. Because if I mess up that $20 hoodie, I have to at least double what the hoodie is in case I mess it up, right? So that's $45. And then I would add, if I'm going to do the bottom, I would add $10. I would add $5 maybe to do the sleeves, depending on if I'm using half a sheet or a full sheet. So the sleeves, I would add $10 because I'm doing both sleeves. I'm not just doing one sleeve. So pretty much for every press, you can look at adding at least $5. And that's depending on how involved the design process is. So I would definitely charge accordingly. But I would say start with $40 for just like a front press, and then just add $5 for every location, and see if they don't say, oh, but don't worry about putting nothing on the hood, or don't worry about putting anything on the back, because then they're paying per press, so they're actually starting to pay you for your time. But I've sold hoodies like this for $85 easily. Oh, Chrissy Poo. Okay, well, since you coaching and whatnot, this is a good opportunity for you to let your players stand out. Do some fundraisers. Some of the best fundraisers we ever did was having the athletes sell these sublimation shirts. And of course, they look real cool. So the boys want them, the girls want them, the teachers want them. And I'm going to tell you this, the biggest thing that I got satisfaction out of it wasn't really, showing off the design. It was, I got a chance to see the kids in our community who normally may not have had the representation or the encouragement that they deserve, being sported as if they were the superheroes of the town. So imagine, instead of me wearing a Superman or Batman shirt, I'm wearing these local kids on my chest. Now imagine the whole gym wearing the same thing and paying $25 a shirt just to have that as a momentum for that year, and that money going towards getting uniforms for those kids or giving them a road trip so that they can go to a state championship. That's the kind of the kind of feeling that I got from that experience that made me turn this into a digital business. Okay. And I know that you all have that same reach. I know that you all have that same heart, and you're able to take through design and something as simple as a t-shirt, even maybe some socks or some towels or whatever else, and you're able to take those kids and really lift them up in the community, make them feel loved, make them feel that their presence matters. And that's in any regard. I want you to start reaching out to the ladies teams. The lady teams don't get as much love. um, Even to the other groups we did, what is, I can't even think of the name of one of the groups. We did track, the track team. So the track team in our local area was not one that got a lot of attention. They didn't even have up-to-date uniforms, matching uniforms. We were able to basically do a fundraiser where we outfitted the entire track team. They actually physically got a chance to make their own socks, make their own sweatbands, make their own singlets and their own tights, their own cover-ups and sweatpants, and all of that because of something that just gave them a little opportunity. So this is what we're all doing for one another. You all are giving me an opportunity to teach. You all are giving your communities an opportunity to be seen and to be heard and feel loved. And then this is giving you an opportunity to provide for your families. So all the way around, we're all eating. We're all blessed, and we're all blessing one another. So sorry for my little long rant. Y'all can tell I've been working too much and haven't had an opportunity to just have some chat time. So I appreciate y'all for all of that. All right, rah rah VIP member, things about to change. You're gonna have some opposition when you have high prices for things, but here's the deal. What I started noticing, When I started doing these, I like doing extravagant stuff. It actually excites me. I used to hand paint clothing. I used to hand paint jeans and t-shirts and sew jersey dresses and these intricate cutout jersey tops and rhinestone them out and all that stuff. So I realized that the more time that I spend on something, yes, I will be happy, but it takes me away from being able to do a simpler project where I could earn 10 times as much. So you have to place that value on your time. So if it took you literally 8 hours, to figure out how to make something or to do something for somebody, whereas you could have printed out 113 by 19 prints and then 100 regular t-shirts in those same 8 hours, then you got to judge for yourself what that's worth. And I still think you're not going to get your full value of your time, but you at least need to get a premium on that product. So that sweatshirt, you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 presses. If you watch that tutorial, it's a total of 12 presses. And those 12 presses are still not going to get you what 12 single-sided t-shirts are going to get you. So you do have to charge a little something. That's your time, baby. That's your energy that you're putting into that product. And it's not a lot of places they're going to be able to go to get that same look, that same experience for that low price. So, and I don't mind y'all asking me about pricing. As a matter of fact, we're going to do a class on that where we set up our price list, and we're going to have a cool way of displaying it and letting people know up front, hey, for every little extra this, that, or the other, this is what it costs. And then that way you can point them to the price list and you don't feel bad making up a price for someone. I do have a sweatband template, Corey. That's an excellent idea. Now, I don't plan on carrying sweatbands right now. I don't know. I might, because it's a big deal for the athletes. But maybe I can check with not competitor, but a fellow sublimation supplier and see if I can develop a template based on one of their products, and we can have that as one of our classes, because those do sell really well, especially for fundraisers, especially for sports. All right, y'all are asking some good questions. Y'all got me all riled up. Usually I'm all sleepy and my voice is cracking right about now. And I'm gonna put this on let me go ahead while y'all are coming up with great ideas. I told y'all I like to brainstorm with you, so let me write down the ideas or type down the ideas. So you say headbands, and we'll do leggings and tights. What we call them, biker shorts. Okay. So I am putting that on my list. So I listen to what y'all tell me, and I do try to incorporate, or I do aim to, I try not to say try, Lord, because my daddy used to tell me try and don't pay the light bill. You don't try to pay the light bill. So my goal is to take the things that you all need and to make those the basis of these courses. So sometimes it may take me a while to develop a class based on something you want to see, but I am consistently listening to your ideas, okay? Now, and I don't offer the biker shorts, but I'm sure someone here knows the hookup for the biker shorts. Um, and if you don't have a hookup for the biker shorts, that's another thing. I could use my sourcing to see if it's worth, getting those manufactured, or if somebody already has them at a good price, then we may just end up teaming up with them in order to create a template for it. Okay. Got you. And that's originally what my business was, Raw Raw, was custom wear. Matter of fact, it was, I forget, it was Poco Jeans custom wear. Oh my gosh. It was, yeah, I was a little silly. But I was very eccentric in high school and college, and I used to come up with these elaborate designs. And I did club wear. I did just randomness that people would want just to be different. I used to paint the Air Force Ones and all that good stuff. Fun stuff, good memories. Airbrushed. I used to literally acrylic paint jeans and t-shirts. And then I learned, my daddy taught me about digital. Well, I already knew digital art, but I never put the two of them together. I would do physical art on the clothing, and I would do digital art for newspaper, yearbook, and that sort of thing. And then my daddy taught me, after he seen me work on one girl's outfit for 8 hours. I made her a Jeezy the Snowman outfit, and I gotta find that picture so I can show you. it was it was too much, but I love her to death. She was a extra person like me, but she was more extra than me. So yeah, he saw me spend about 8 hours painting this girl's outfit and putting glitter on it. And every time I would do it, she'd be like, "Can we just add some more glitter and rhinestones?" So after I did all that, my daddy was like, "Yeah, you need to just learn sublimation." And I was like, "Well, what is sublimation?" He said, "Well, you're doing all this artwork. You can do the artwork digitally and print it as many times as you want, versus trying to recreate these things by hand painting them every time." So interesting backstory is that every piece of apparel that I used to make was hand painted, airbrushed, hand sewn, rhinestoned, all of that good stuff. And now I'm just purely sublimation. All right, loves. Oh, you're saying where you get them from is It's Fashion. So maybe we do need a supplier for them that just has them regularly, all the sizes and that sort of deal. So I will be on the lookout for those. Okay, y'all asked me about sublimation ties as well. So I'll look for some biker shorts. Yep, Ra Ra says the same. Used to do everything by hand, so sublimation changed the game. We have a lot in common, Ra Ra. So I think you're gonna fit right on in. Okay. All right, love. So I see y'all are dwindling down and probably getting into your nighttime routines. So I will not hold you up much longer. But if there is anything that you want to see happen in the future, or you have any questions, make sure that you're in the Innate Creatives Facebook group. I'm going to go ahead and drop that link. And there is a tech support thread, a show off thread. We don't you can't just make a post in there, but you can um, comment on a post with a photo or video or a question that you might have. So make sure that that's your first resource for trying to find an answer to your question. And Erica Kane is the admin in there that is really, really hands on and able to help do most things. And I come in from time to time and chime in and try to give y'all my creative efforts and jump in where I can. Okay. All right, love bugs, it is about that time where I give y'all my infamous love y'all for real. And until next time, bye.